Hey everybody, I'm Philip. And today I want to talk about a scene from Stranger Things season 5 that it's rubbing me the wrong way. I wasn't going to do a video on it. I wasn't going to let sleeping dogs lie. But I have watched video after video after video about Stranger Things season 5, and for the most part I agree with 90% of what's being said. But over and over and over I see people continually ripping apart that scene right there. I discussed it in my season 5 part 2 review. The first 5 minutes were devoted to just this scene. I even put up a reaction to just that scene where I'm weeping like a baby because of how much it resonated with me. And I'm trying to understand the criticisms on it. I'm trying to see it from other people's points of view. I'm trying to have the empathy and open-mindedness that I'm seeing a lot of other people not have, including content creators that I really enjoy, but the reasonings behind it make no sense to me. I am biased. My opinion is skewed. I admit that because I am gay, because I grew up in the 80s. Will's character is what, 17, 18 in the show? And it's what, 1989? I wasn't quite that old. I'm a few years behind him, but I come from that time. And it's just so incredibly frustrating to watch people who usually see things with an open mind shit all over this scene in particular for some reason. So I'm going to do my best right now to defend the major points I see about why this scene with Will didn't work. And then I'm going to tell you why ultimately I decided to make the video. What was the final straw for me? So the major point I see is that Will did not have to do this in front of everyone. He could have just talked to Joyce, he could have talked to Jonathan, he could have talked to Mike, he could have talked to the core friend group. I get that. But the idea was that Will needed to come clean completely in order to make sure that Vecna had no power over him. So was Kali being there unnecessary? Yes. Was Murray being there unnecessary? Yes. That's been Murray in every fucking scene in the show. Murray sucks. If you watch my reviews of season 5, you know how I feel about Kali. You know how I feel about Murray. I'm probably losing a lot of you if I haven't lost you already. I know people love Murray. I don't get it. He's obnoxious, and I'm not here to talk about Murray. Fuck Murray. So let's go back. Yes, Kali didn't need to be there. Murray didn't need to be there. But they were part of the core group, like it or not, the core group that were going to take the fight to Vecna in some way. I'm going to explain it to you as if this is a second screen show from Netflix, like they did. So imagine that Vecna's power over secrets is like a forest fire. If you're fighting a forest fire, you want to be as thorough as possible to get out every ember you possibly can to make sure it's extinguished. Will needed to tell his secret to as many people as possible in the group of people that were going to fight Vecna in order to put out that fire. The fire being the power Vecna had over him. Does that make sense? To not have everyone there would have left a little bit of that secret. Yes, Joyce could have told Murray or whatever, but having everyone there, it comes from the source. When something comes from the source, it is that much more powerful. So I think having the entire overinflated, bloated-ass group there to hear it was necessary. So since we had a bloated cast, they all needed to be there to have a blanket moment that covered everyone. That was the point. So that irritation does not work for me. The second thing that I hear or read over and over about why this scene was bad is that it came at the wrong time. And I don't agree with that either. When else should it have happened? If you wanted it to be just the core group, when would you have done it? Like, there was no room in the plot for it to happen anywhere else. They were going a million miles an hour with this overinflated, bloated-ass cast. Where was it supposed to go? Because to me, it made sense for the narrative. What slowed down the pacing? The pacing was already fucked. It was already fucked. So having this touching, endearing moment was this right place, right time for what we were given. Trust me, when I do the season 5 overall review, I'm gonna do a lot of I would have done it this way. But with the scene with Will, I wouldn't have changed a lot other than the overinflated cast. But that's what we had to work with. That's what the character had to work with. So it's fine to me. Its placement in the story was fine to me. They had to do it before the final battle. They were gearing up for the final battle. And they were all there. Like they were all finally all together in one spot. Because they were coming together to gear up to fight Vecna. Made sense. The third thing that I read and I see when people are discussing this scene is people making fun of Noah's acting. I 1000% disagree. 1000% disagree. And this is going to lead into why ultimately I defend this scene before I get to the straw that broke the camel's back for me. Again, I said I am biased. 100%. I have been there. I have had to come out to my friends, had to come out to my family. I was terrified, in tears, my voice shaking, my whole entire body just on edge. That's what Will was going through. I'm going to try and put it in perspective from a gay dude who grew up then, who had to do that on a much smaller scale, because I wasn't going to try and save the world. Coming out is one of the scariest things a queer person can do. And I know that's hard for straight people to reconcile or wrap their mind around. I think it's just a super, it's just freeing thing. It can be, yeah. But like Will, growing up in Hawkins, Indiana, I grew up in small bumfuck town, Ohio. It makes it worse. Again, I can identify with it. It is terrifying. It is scary. It is just, you are afraid you're going to lose your friends or your family, or you just don't know what's going to happen. It's a big unknown variable. You need to do it to get it off your chest, to kind of get it out there in the universe. But there are no guarantees with it. Are you going to be kicked out? Will people stop talking to you? Will people at school find out? They did with me. I came out to someone that I shouldn't have trusted. She told the entire school. I started getting my ass kicked. The last 3 years of high school were hell on earth for me. I didn't go my senior year so much that I was lucky to graduate because I was just fucking done with being bullied. I was done being put in the hospital. I was done having parts of my body broken just because how I was born. I digress. It is not an easy thing to do. And if you think it is, then you don't understand. Because it's something that straight people, that the heteronormative society we live in, never, ever has to deal with. Society is catering to you at every step of the way. When you are a kid, if you have a friend who's the opposite sex, you have people telling you that you're going to get married and you're going to have children. And to me, it's like, they're fucking 5. You people are creepy. That's a whole other ball of just, For a queer person, coming out, whatever you're coming out as, is very hard. Now let me put it back in perspective with Will and why he was acting the way he did. Why Noah acted this the way he did. He's been fighting this for 6 or 7 years in the time of the show, and then 10 years for plot in real time. He's had a crush on his best friend for as long as he can remember. The friend who has been by his side and who's been through everything with him. And he wants to tell his friend how he feels and be honest with him. Be honest with everyone, but he's afraid. If you cannot recognize the power of fear in the face of a society that tells you from the earliest times of your life that you're going to hell for how you were born, I don't know what to fucking tell you. If you can't have any empathy for 2 seconds to realize that this character is going through some shit, I don't know what to tell you. I think this scene was absolutely wonderfully acted. I think, and this is no hyperbole, I think this is one of the best portrayals of coming out that I have ever seen put to media. Film, TV, what have you. This is raw. This is real. This is someone who has been hiding themselves behind a wall they have built up. This is a dam holding back water, and he's finally letting the water slip through the cracks. And what happens when water slips through the cracks of a dam? Eventually, it explodes and it cascades. And that is what is happening here. That is why he's blubbering. That is why he's ugly crying, because he is locked in the emotion. This is honesty. And it is because of that honesty I cannot hate this scene. And it is because of that honesty that I cannot hate Noah's portrayal of this moment. As said, it is fucking raw, and it is real, and it is honest. And I'm not here to change your mind, because I can't. If modern society taught us anything, is that when people are set in their ways, they're set in their ways, and we're all fucking paying for it. But I'm also not going to sit there and pretend that a lot of the shit I'm reading and seeing and hearing does not feel like thinly veiled homophobia. And that segues us into the straw that broke the camel's back. Why I'm making this video instead of letting the sleeping dogs lie. One of the channels I like the most did a video on this and just tore this scene to shreds. And I thought of all people, he would be more open-minded about it, and he wasn't. And that's what got me to thinking, okay, what's really going on here then? So I went to IMDb. And I looked it up. As of this recording, as of right now, Season 5, Episode 7 has a 5.7 out of 10 on IMDb. But, we talked about Kali earlier. Her episode from Season 2, The Lost Sister, has a 6.0. There is no way in any fucking universe that this episode is worse than this episode. This is the worst episode of the entire show, hands down. There is no way The Bridge is worse than The Lost Sister. No way. So why is it then that an episode that just so happens to have Will BYERS finally coming out after 10 years of build, why is it that episode just so happens to be worse than what is critically panned, usually agreed to be the worst episode of Stranger Things? Do not tell me it's because it was badly paced. Do not tell me it was because the cast is too big. It just so happens that the episode with Will coming out is worse than the fucking Kali episode? That's some bullshit. And hey, the ratings might go up, they might go down. But I hope you can see how on the surface, it looks really fucking interesting. It looks a little too red-pilled, a little too red hat for me to just sit back and be quiet anymore. Because there's no way anywhere in any goddamn universe, upside down or not, that The Lost Sister is better than The Bridge. There's not. And if you think it is, whatever. Like, just fucking whatever. I don't fucking care. Not anymore, I don't. I can't care anymore. I can't care anymore. If you can't see how this is important, okay, whatever. If you can't see how this is a powerful, emotional, important scene. This scene is fucking important. This is going to be a scene that young queer kids can watch and look at and feel. It will resonate with people. If it doesn't resonate with you, fine. It doesn't have to resonate with you for you to understand the importance of it. If after me explaining it, you still don't like it, fine, that's on you. And honestly, if you don't, there's nothing I can say that's going to change your mind. There's not an example I can give or something I can do that will alter your train of thought, and nor do I want to.